This Sergio Kun Aguero goal
Still alive here. Balotelli. Aguero!
is considered to be the most dramatic finishes to the Premier League. But I believe that there's one more moment that smashes it out of the park. It's so iconic that even the BBC called it the most dramatic finishes to a league in 120 years of English football. And it even inspired a best-selling novel that was adapted into a movie in 1997, which all football fans should watch. That match and that moment were so dramatic that even the English Football Association were inspired to start what is now known as the best league in the world. I'm Varun, and this is FBX Club Files, where we discuss clubs, history, rivalries, certain events, and we look at the past to make sense of the future. Now let's go back in time to 1988. Arsenal Football Club were on a 17-year drought for the English title. At the helm was George Graham. If you don't know George Graham, well, I call him as one of the original founders of Park the Bus. If you remember the old chants, boring, boring Arsenal, or 1-0 to the Arsenal, well, George Graham made it famous. In the summer of 1988, he decided to freshen up the legs. He went to the Stoke City Mall and got in now legends Lee Dixon and Steve Bold. But pre-season, Arsenal weren't the favourites. The defending champions Liverpool, under King Kenny Dalglish, were the favourites of the bookies. And their fiercest rivals Everton down the road, they were second favourites. And would you believe it? Even Tottenham Hotspurs were more favourites than Arsenal. Because जैसे हम बारात में पैसे उड़ाते हैं, वैसे Tottenham ने transfers में millions spend किए थे. But that's all pre-season. When the league started, Arsenal made a statement, 5-1 victory at home, and they kept in breaking the results. By the end of the year, Arsenal were top. At one point, in 1989, they were even 15 points ahead of defending champions Liverpool. 15. That's not a lead. That's a Mount Everest. But this is Arsenal, and we have the bottle cheat in us. So, starting March, drama. Brian Clough, yes, that Brian Clough, जो मुझे लगता है किसी चाय वाले की टीम से भी लीग जीत जाएगा. He came in with Nottingham Forest at home at Highbury, and he beat Arsenal 3-1. That opened up a can of worms for Arsenal of mixed results. Liverpool were catching up. In April, Arsenal were supposed to head to Anfield for a table 2 clash, and probably it was going to be the league decider. But April 1989 is also known for a tragedy. 97 Liverpool fans were crushed to death at Sheffield Wednesday's home ground. This incident is now infamously known as Hillsborough disaster. The entire country was in mourning, the entire footballing world is in mourning, and the match was postponed. It was supposed to be kept sometime in May. By game week 37, Arsenal had bottled the 15-point lead on Liverpool and were second, 3 points behind them, and Liverpool had a better goal difference. A game week before the final game, Liverpool faced Everton, their fiercest rivals, in the FA Cup final, and they lifted the trophy. So Anfield had retribution. On the last day, Arsenal had to go to Anfield, where they had not won for 15 years, and they had to beat Liverpool by 2 goals. Liverpool had not lost a match by 2 goals in 3 years. Easy, right? On May 26, 1989, Arsenal headed up north to the most hostile ground in England, where the fans were buzzing. They wanted some retribution for the Hillsborough victims, and Arsenal were certainly underdogs. In the first half, George Graham did what any sane manager wouldn't do. He parked the bus. And जैसे हमारी मम्मी वाईफाई शट डाउन कर देती है एग्जाम्स के टाइम पे, Arsenal shut down Liverpool's midfield. At halftime, the score said 0-0. With 40,000 fans inside the stadium and 12 million viewers at home, this match looked like a dead rubber. But as the match restarted, in the 52nd minute, from Winterburn free kick, Alan Smith scored a controversial header. Liverpool players were seen fighting with the referee for some push in the box, but the linesman gave it. Arsenal were 1-0 ahead. The hopes were rekindled. But as the match went on, and with Liverpool's 2 near chances for an equaliser, hopes were dying in Merseyside River. At the 90th minute mark, Arsenal midfielder Richardson was down due to an injury, and you could see Liverpool players in a huddle discussing time wasting. Back then, you could pass the ball back to the keeper and he could pick it up. 2.5 minutes were added on in the stoppage time. Liverpool were just few minutes away from defending their title. In the 91st minute, during a Liverpool attack, Arsenal defender got the ball and he passed it back to Arsenal goalkeeper Lukic, who gave it to Lee Dixon. And he, in a desperation, sent it flying to Alan Smith. I'm not going to tell you what happened next, let me just show you.
Will not be denied. Yes, he will, by Richardson a moment ago, down and injured. Arsenal come streaming forward now in surely what will be their last attack. A good ball by Dixon, finding Smith. For Thomas, charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end. An unbelievable climax to the league season.
Now that is iconic. Arsenal did something that no one thought they could. And BBC's Brian Moore's commentary is on point. It's up for grabs now. It's so iconic that it's considered one of the greatest commentary lines of all time. We even use it outside of football. This wasn't a final day match where the top two teams were playing different mid-table teams to decide the winner. The top two teams were facing each other in one of the most hostile grounds in England. And when all bets were off, Arsenal did something that no one thought was possible. In the end, the celebrations were a bit subdued, giving some respect to the Hillsborough victims. And I would like to give my appreciation to the Liverpool fans who stayed back in the ground to clap for the league title winners. Post-match, George Graham said, "No one believed us outside of Highbury." Now that's sheer mentality. And that brings me back to Arsenal of today. Arteta has done well to get Arsenal to a point where they can challenge. But Arsenal have been lacking something very deep. Not just players, they've been lacking mentality. The legends of the game will tell you, when the world is against you, you go against the world. And that's what is required. We had one of the poorest transfer markets last season. We can add all the backups, improve our team this season, but if the mentality isn't right, nothing is going to be achieved. I'm looking forward to this season to see if Arteta and his men can finally figure out the mentality, not bog down on adversity, and finally do what's almost in their grasp. So, do you still think Aguero's goal is more iconic than Michael Thomas's? Leave a comment. We're targeting 40 likes for this video so that we can keep pumping out more of such content for you. Thank you for watching.